What's up, my dude? You boys been sipping on that tea? That's what I like to hear. We got the best possible way. Literally, I'm convinced this is the best way you can make a Ken Roczen, the most accurate Ken Roczen that you can possibly have in this new Supercross 3 video game right here. So, if you don't know, they don't just have like a normal Ken Roczen in the game that you can ride as, like they have Tomac and all these other dudes, Anderson, Barsha, Webb. You know, they already have all those dudes in the game, but they don't actually have a Ken Roczen in the game. I know it's kind of crazy. It's like, what's going on? Why is it like that? Well, the reason, some people don't really understand why that's like that in this game, why sometimes there's not certain riders in some of these official games. The reason being is because everything's got to be licensed properly, and that's kind of what I saw from Milestone themselves. They said there was some sort of licensing issue, and that's why Roczen was not actually put into this Supercross 3 game. So kind of like how, if you remember in the first Supercross game, how Tomac wasn't in that game, that was because of a licensing thing. So, which is kind of weird, because you would think if it's the official Supercross game, they would just automatically just about damn near have the license to be able to use all these, official Supercross racers that actually participate in real life when it's in the actual official Monster Energy Supercross game. But apparently that's not exactly the case. I don't know if it was on Roczen's end, or if it was on Supercross's end, or somebody was wanting more money. I don't know exactly why, but the good thing about it is you can go in there and just make your own Roczen in the game. Like, that's what's kind of funny, how you can do that. I mean, literally, you can make a Roczen in this game that is pretty much exactly as if they had the real Ken Roczen in the game. You're just not going to have the exact face, like the exact, scanned face of Roczen in there when you go to choose the character, but you're basically going to have the exact Ken Roczen rider in the game. Like, that's what this is right here. So here in a second, I'll go in there and show you exactly every piece that I have on the bike right here. And of course, there's always a couple little different things you could have on it, but this one's this is one of those that I just feel like this is about the only way you could make a, Honda era Roczen in the game. Like, I mean, even as far as like down to the boots and the helmet and the goggles and everything else like that, just about as accurate as you could possibly get all that. So, yeah, either way, just really wanted to come in here and explain this. If you're wanting to ride as Roczen in the game, you can still do that, even though that's not like an official rider in the game. And I've seen a couple different people out there kind of trying to do this a little bit, but which, of course, there's times where Roczen wore black boots, and all that kind of stuff. But where it gets interesting is really, I feel, the helmet area of it, right? Because in this game, even if you have the, like, official, official skins on a bike and gear, it doesn't come with the official helmet of that team or whatever, right? So let me actually get in there and show you here in a second. I'll show you what I'm talking about specifically, but this is where it gets a little more interesting on how you can actually create this. But in my own mind, this is as good as you could possibly make a Ken Roczen in this game without mods, right? Obviously, once they start getting mods, then that's going to be the case. But you can run 94 because there's not technically a Ken Roczen in the game, right? Which is kind of crazy, because you can't even run like a number 7 or a number 2 or a number 4 or any of that kind, or 25, because there's all the other riders in there. And the weird part about it is there's still the HRC Honda team in this game, right? So even though there's really like no Sealy or Roczen in this game, there might be Sealy, I'm not sure, but I don't think I really saw a Sealy in there. I don't think there's any. I think it's all the, 450 HRC Honda team. There must have been a licensing issue between that specific team, but the weird part is their bikes are still in the game. You can still, like, ride for that team in the actual campaign, and you can still, you can still do all that. You can actually ride for the HRC. That's what this bike is right here. HRC Honda. Even got the Fox logo on the side. I mean, this is pretty much the closest thing you could ever have in one of these games to a Roczen without actually having a Roczen in the game. It's exactly like what that would be like. I mean, literally down to everything. Boots, gear, everything. Like, literally everything. So it's weird how they have the bikes in here and you can ride for this team, but you can't technically have Roczen in the game. So, either way, when there's a will, there's a way. So all you got to do is have a custom rider editor. It would have been a lot harder to make this had you not been able to do the official team, skin on the bike and everything. That really pulls it together. So if they didn't allow you to do that, it would have been a lot harder to do this. But either way, let me go in here and show you what all I got going on. Okay, so as you can see, when you go in here to your custom preset, you go down here to these actual, official team things down here, right? So you can get any one of these. You can get the Yamaha team stuff. And basically what this is, it allows you to ride with your custom rider on one of these official team bikes. So the two ways you can do this is either play through the campaign, get to the 450 class, and actually ride for that team, or you can just purchase this official team stuff right here for 85,000 credits. So you can see it right there. It says, purchase or race for this team in career mode. So, if you haven't really played through the campaign, just get you 85,000 credits and you can purchase this pretty quickly, right? So there's two different options right here. The main two options is really just the handlebars as far as I can see. It's pretty much what's going on there. So either way, that's kind of how you do it. You just go down here to the Team Honda HRC bike, and it's going to basically automatically set you up with the exact Ken Roczen bike. So you literally don't have to do anything to that. And you can't do anything to that because it locks off the components, component color, and model. So you can't go in there and put gold rims on this official Roczen team or official HR team bike. And you can't change the graphics, but you can adjust where the numbers are. So they've got it real, you can tell the team and the contracts they've made with Milestone and everything has made it to where you can't really adjust anything once you do this official team stuff. But what's weird is the one aspect that it's not like that on is the helmets. So when you do this official team, HRC team, it gives you the official gear set, okay, which is jersey, pants, and gloves. But you can go in there, put your own helmet on it. You can put your own goggles on it, your own boots, neck brace, butt patch, right? So it's kind of weird how it's like that. I'm a little confused by that. It's almost like the helmet is just a completely separate thing. So this is not just going to come with a default Red Bull, Ken Roczen helmet or whatever you might be expecting in your head. And even if you back out and go to this Monster Energy team, you can see it's not a Monster Energy helmet, right? If you go down here to Husqvarna, it's not a Husqvarna Rockstar helmet like they run in real life. You know what I mean? It's not a Red Bull helmet on the Red Bull KTM bike. So really bizarre how that... I felt like that was the one official gear thing everybody really wanted was the official helmets. You know what I mean? The Rockstar helmet, Monster Energy helmets, Red Bull helmets. That's what we've been asking for in these, arcade motocross games forever now. And it's just crazy to me how they finally put where you can run that gear with your custom rider and run that, official Monster Energy Kawasaki bike with your own custom rider, but the helmet's not with it. I would have thought they would have made it to where you could interchange anything. I could go in here to the Monster Energy Kawasaki and then come over here and run Galaxy gear with it, and then or run a Monster Energy helmet with my own custom bike up here. You'd think you'd be able to interchange that stuff, but they've got some weird restrictions to it to where you really can't do that. So, that's kind of disappointing. I was hoping that would have been a little more interchangeable, to where you could just take the Red Bull helmet from the KTM official team once you unlock that official team stuff and then run that with your own custom gear, but you can't do that. So the only other alternative, and they don't even have those helmets even when you do ride with all the official stuff. So literally, unless you're riding with one of the official riders, you're not going to have a Monster Energy helmet or a Red Bull helmet or a Rockstar helmet or anything like that. So had to come up with my own custom sort of Red Bull look-alike helmet right here. The best thing I could find, and this was the same one I ran for the Stewart replica I made in this game, it's this one right here, the Aviator 23, but all the way at the bottom, or 2-3, but all the way at the bottom. So it's going to give you that cool kind of red-blue Red Bull look-alike helmet. That's the best thing I've found in the game to really do that with. So either way, if you're looking for a, kind of a Red Bull look-alike to try to make a Roczen, this is about the best helmet you're going to be able to use for that right here. And then the goggles, obviously Fox. So Roczen's actually ran some goggles. He typically runs goggles very similar to this, all red. I guess you could technically go with, not the pink ones, you could technically go with these right here, I guess, right? But they're kind of like blue in the front, and then they got the yellow on the other side, so they look a little weird, but I would just go with the all red if you're trying to make a Roczen replica. Boots, same thing, Fox. He has ran, like I said, the black Fox boots before, so you could always technically go with those or those, but he has been known for running real red, Honda-style Fox boots. So you could always go with these, but what I chose to go with, or those right there, but what I chose to go with is these right here, these red, white, and black ones, just because I first chose these right here, but when you actually get in game with these super red ones, they almost look orange in the game. So that kind of throws it off a little bit. So when you go like right here, these are more red when you actually get to riding in the game, whereas these look more like orange when you get in there. So either way, I just chose those boots right there. But yeah, that's about it. Butt patch, you could go with, a True Hero. I thought that would have been kind of a cool butt patch if you do want to run that, or you can just go no butt patch on that. So that's all that. That's the bike and the rider. It's all pretty simple. It's kind of made for you. You just got to put the helmet on it and the boots and the goggles. That's about as best as you can do it right there. So other than that, it really just comes down to a rider data thing at that point. So you got obviously Ken, Roczen, name, Roczen on the back. I just went with the black numbers on this specific gear. Height 5'7" what you go for. That's how tall it says Roczen is. Nation, obviously Germany. Now, as far as the actual appearance, okay, this is where you can get do a couple of different things. I just chose this head right here. It's about the closest thing to Roczen I feel like you could have on here. You might be able to get away, not so much that, it just doesn't look quite as good. I mean, this is about the best one you could use for it, Eyes, I just went with hazel. No beard at all, but I guess you could always do that if you wanted to. Yeah, that actually looks kind of good, honestly. Beard color, maybe light brown on the beard color. I mean, maybe you could get away with that because he kind of, Roczen does kind of have that little scruff every once in a while. If you do want to put the earring on the dude, you can always do that. So either way, that's about what I got on all that stuff. So yeah, that's it, man. That's if you want to have Ken Roczen in the new Supercross game, you can still do it, bro. Even though it's not actually in the game officially, you can still do it. So either way, be sure and if you want to get all my notifications, be sure and have me belled on YouTube. I know I'm uploading a lot of videos here recently, so there's a lot of stuff, kind of making like 2 videos a day. So if you don't have me belled, it's going to be really hard to get all my notifications. Just letting you know, if you do want to do that, all you got to do is hit that notification bell when you go to my channel. So yeah, man, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.